Okay, so let's talk about something pretty funny when you hear it for the first time, but very real. We're going to talk about botanical sexism. So, did you know that most cities in America, most places in America these days, every tree you see is a male tree? Okay? So, urban planners in the US deliberately, right, started to avoid planting female trees because of something that happened in the 40s called the 1940s called Dutch elm disease. Okay, Dutch elm disease, which is, you gotta understand when you hear this, like, trees have been around from before you and me. It's been around for forever, and all of a sudden Dutch elm disease is coined, right? And now they're a problem. Why is this? Well, not to go deep, not to go too deep, but the New World Order, Rockefellers, and the whole industrial establishment, right? Getting you dependent on companies and corporations and sometimes even government, getting you dependent on these things. In order to do that, in order to take away your freedom, we can't have you eating anytime you want fresh, clean, good fruits. No, we can't have that. We need to control this, make this a commodity, and sell it to you. And where we're going to do that at? Oh, in the supermarket. Let's bring out something called the supermarket and have everybody go there to shop for regular things that they would be able to find outside anyway. So, that is what happened, okay? Due to this happening, uh, you get what's called um all right, so let's explain that. Sorry about that. Let's explain that. So, male trees, what do males do? Males spread seed, okay? Males spread seed. That's what we do, right? Uh Pollen, okay? So, males are all the time spreading pollen, right? In their in the so-called pollen season, allergy season. This whole Tom Morgan coined this phrase because they took away the female trees that catch the pollen and grow fruit and more trees, right? So now all that pollen seed is being spread out, and then ever since this happened, allergies skyrocketed, okay? Skyrocketing. This happening mainly at first the urban cities. So New York, LA, these places, okay? And this was all due to botanical sexism. Them chopping down the trees and not planting and explicitly making it where we don't plant female trees or allow them to grow. And now we're at the point this many years later, about 70, 80 years later, right? Where, or longer than that, probably, really. Because I'm sure that what we have is just like the beginning of the works. I'm sure that before, well, not even the beginning of the works, the beginning of the effects, but the works were put in before that time. But anyway, so they take away all the trees. Now you have this allergy season, and everybody's always catching allergies. You don't have fruit to eat from the plant. Like, you can't just, you have to go to a farm, right? You have to. They needed to make it a commodity. So they had to put it in had to put it, where can we put it? In a supermarket. They came up with the supermarket. They had to make it a commodity. They had to make it only certain people can grow this, right? This is why you have strict things about how much fruit you can grow in your own property or land, because a bunch of other reasons, but how much fruit you can actually grow in land. In Puerto Rico and islands like that, they just started implementing a few years back where they can't grow fruits anymore. They're not allowed anymore. And you only can grow certain ones, like lemon trees and things like that. You can only grow that, and then we have to get their seeds, and their seeds are genetically modified. And and just so much, it's just so much stuff. And it's just crazy how it is a deliberate plan to make you subject to corporation and government, and make you dependent on these things where you think you can't fend for yourself. But it's hard, right? Because you can't just go outside it anymore and just eat. You got to buy it. And just think about that, guys. Think about that the next time you put all your faith in the government.